And we're back with another episode of the Pals Podcast. I am your co-host. Oh, sorry. Danielle Galarno.
And I'm Ricky Liordi. And Danny, who did we have on this week?
Tommy Theo, MMA fighter.
And he was, we've actually had this one in the vault for about a month and a half now because Tommy was recently on UFC's Ultimate Fighter, I believe it's called. So we kind of waited to release this for him to come back.
Because he's been gone for the past month. So it's actually, we filmed this probably like a month and a half ago, it feels.
Yeah.
At this point.
And you know when you're just like I knew I was going to get along with him because he's like a Toronto boy. Like he's very like well known in like my circle of friends.
We all went to Western.
Yeah. And we ended up just hitting it off perfectly.
Yeah, I was listening to it and I was editing the sound. And I forgot how dumb I sounded.
Well, you didn't sound dumb. You're not educated in MMA.
Not at all. But there was a fight last night. There was. Which is perfect timing. Apparently it was really good. I woke up at like 2 a.m. randomly and I just kept seeing people posting about it. So it is good timing.
We love that for you, Danny.
What?
But yeah, so Tommy's born and raised in the city. He's an MMA fighter, going to be on UFC's, I think it's called The Ultimate Fighter. Don't fully know.
I'm not sure. He told you, not me.
But we'll check that out. Either way, Tommy, man, loved you, buddy. You were an absolute gem. We're going to have you back on after your next fight. We can talk about the show. He actually recently had a fight in Toronto in February that we talked about.
Yeah, that we talked about on the episode.
He had that crazy knockout. Wild. We should post that clip like right here. Pew. Right there.
You can edit that clip.
Yeah, I'll edit that part. Anyways, Tommy, thanks for being a pal. And Danny, what do we say?
Let's fucking go.
Boom. You know what's so funny? We always end up, literally always, every time, we end up sitting out there and getting to know one another.
Yeah.
Because you want the guest to feel comfortable. So you want to sit down and chat.
You also want to have like a connection type of thing, right?
Sometimes it's nice though not to. Depending on the guest.
Is it like,
yeah,
is this good? No, but it's okay.
Well, you project. You're loud, so it's
I'm
good.
very loud. I'm too loud.
No, never.
I'm a very loud person.
Well, that's what we want. So we're saying like sometimes you end up sitting down, you start talking. I'm like, fuck, this is a perfect story for the podcast. I'm like, put this story on hold. Let's jump in. Let's turn on the mics. But then other times, like you sit down too quick. Yeah. And it's like, okay, like, let's get to know it. And you almost do like the intros on the pod, which I hate. I want to jump right into it. Okay, cool. That's like, even when you got in today, we're like, how do we not know each other?
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like we have a lot of mutual friends and go to the same spots, which is...
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Stratford, Ontario, which is like a very small town.
I know exactly.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like hockey tournaments out there too, right?
Yeah, I grew up with Justin Bieber. We played on the same hockey team together.
Really?
And stuff, so yeah.
Actually?
Yeah.
That sounds like a prank. Yeah, it's like a prank.
I totally didn't believe you. I thought you were going to be like,
he's
oh, prank.
He's a 94 and I'm a 93 and he'd get called up to my hockey team and stuff. So that's my claim to fame.
It's like a good like random like did you know fact.
Yeah, it's a great.
You know what I mean? Like when you're walking on stage and they have like random facts about people, it's like random fact. Tommy played hockey.
No, Justin Bieber played hockey with me.
Well, he got called up. Yeah, I guess he got called
up to my team.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, so
that's so random.
Yeah,
Stratford,
then I'm from Stratford. It's a small town. Lived there until like high school. Then I went to Western for way too long. I took like a 3-year program, and it took me like 6 years.
What program did you take?
Sociology and criminology. So
You're like the natural Dave Van Wilder.
Yeah, exactly. It was a great time. I met so many people, and I was also fighting during that time as well. So that's kind of a little reason why I took a bit longer. But I was there from 2012 to 2018. So
fuck, you put in some time.
So that's why I thought you were a year younger.
Yeah.
Because I graduated 2017.
Okay.
But like I think you have some mutuals with my friends.
Yeah.
Who were there a year before.
Okay. Yeah, so I was there for a while. I met a shit ton of people. And
so you saw Jim Bob's, then you saw Jim Bob's clothes turn into Toboggan?
I was in Jim Bob's when I was like 17. I was in high school when I first went there. So
I
told my parents I was at like going to a buddy's place, and then like my buddy and I drove to Jim Bob's, and I didn't know what to do. I would just sit in the bar. I like grabbed a drink. I was like, this is so cool. Like this in a bar. But then obviously I went there a lot when I moved there, and I think it closed down 2015.
Yeah, and then it turned into Toboggan.
Yeah,
and then it turned into something else.
It's
No,
it's Toboggan.
it's still Toboggan now.
It's still Toboggan.
It's still
Yeah.
Toboggan.
But it's not the same. It's not like a
No,
vibe
it's
like
not
it was.
like it's not.
No, it's more of a
Bar.
restaurant, I think.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever stepped foot once like JBR's closed.
So I remember going to the back bar at JBR's, and I used to do nightclub stuff like promo.
Oh, did you?
And our bar tab was like, between me and my partner that I did it with, we had like a $200 bar tab every Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
And we'd
Wednesday
go to the
was
bar.
a big night.
Wednesdays was the best night.
Yeah.
So we'd go to the back bar, be like, okay, our tab's $200. Hey, we want 50 like rum and cokes or something. And they give you those shit little plastic cups where it's like not even a real shot, like poured with a little bit of coke, and you've got 50 in front, or like Jager bombs for $1 that night.
I remember I used to go in there in my first year of university, and I would stuff beer bottles in my socks, and I would like, I would go like I would just get in the club or the bar, and I would just as soon as I get in there, just take them out, and just start drinking these like Coors Lights that I just brought into the bar.
Warm Coors Lights from the socks.
Yeah, it was quite the experience. So
This is random. Do you know the one of the bouncers from London ended up doing a couple fights in I think UFC. What was his name? Jesse
Gross,
kind of skinny white guy.
Jesse
bald head.
Ronson.
Jesse Ronson.
Yeah, he's a
Do you
great
know
guy.
him?
Oh yeah, I know him really well.
Small world.
He's how do you know Ronson?
So he was the bouncer at Club Mansion.
Oh
was
wow,
Mansion
I
still
remember
around
Mansion.
when you were
No,
there?
I don't think it is.
So,
It's not anymore.
Not anymore, but maybe when you got there, it would have been, right?
Yeah, it was. I went there.
So
like,
when it
once or
opened, he
twice.
was one of the bouncers, and then I think he ended up working at Jim Bob's too. And I remember, like, he added me on Facebook, and like, he's a small dude. He's like smaller than me.
Well, not anymore.
Well,
He's
yeah.
big, dude.
Is he big, dude?
He's
Yeah.
a big dude.
But he was like smaller than me. And
Yeah.
I'm just remember like he added me on Facebook, and I was like, "You're a fighter?" I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing videos of like, "Holy fuck!"
He's a monster.
Oh,
he
yeah.
beats the shit out of me. Like he's very good.
Yeah, he's like,
very good.
he's fucking solid. I was like, man,
he's
what
a
the
very
fuck?
solid fighter. Yeah. So I wouldn't want to fight
Get
that.
him,
dude. Yeah. Fuck that. Yeah.
Is he still around London?
Yeah, he's around London. He's got a fight coming up in a few weeks. He's actually doing a bare knuckle MMA fight. So they pay these guys like, do you know George Masvidal?
No. Oh yeah, I do actually. Yeah. Cornrows,
He's
yeah.
Yeah, cornrows. Like he was a huge UFC star, but anyways, he's got his own organization, and he's like he was known because he grew up with like Kimbo and stuff in the backyard brawls and doing like the
Kimbo was wild.
Yeah, Kimbo.
But those
was
was like
wild.
early YouTube days.
Exactly. So he was a part of that. So then he fought in the UFC, and then now he's retired, and he's got his own promotion. It's bare knuckle MMA, and that's where Ronson's fighting. I think next week. So. Or no, in 2 weeks or something like that. March 9th.
So Danny doesn't know much about fighting. So why don't you, for I guess even the people who don't know, why don't you explain the different types of fighting between boxing, MMA, bare knuckle, etc.
So boxing, obviously, it's
not obvious because Danny. Danny
I
asked, she's
truly-
like,
I was
so
like,
what's
I
the
don't-
difference between like Tommy and like someone like Tommy Fury? I was like, are you actually asking that? I'm like, one's boxing, one's MMA, like completely different.
I can't comprehend how people don't understand the difference. Because
This
I'm like,
not-
obviously, there's a huge difference. But go ahead, sorry.
It's just not something I watch
Yeah,
regularly.
fair
like,
enough.
And like if someone's like, "Oh, we're watching a big fight tonight,"
Yeah.
I don't think I would know the difference unless someone specifically told me, or if I saw two of them side by side.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Danny would know what the difference was if there was a fighter on Vanderpump Rules or like The Bachelorette. There was like a fight,
okay.
Then she would know the difference.
She
I
would know
put
the
into
difference.
perspective. The Tyson Fury reality show on Netflix really opened up my eyes to boxing.
That got a
So
lot
what
of
is
ratings.
boxing? What is boxing?
No clue, but I know what they do. I can like see the difference. I know what wrestling is.
Okay, well, wrestling's entertainment.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a soap opera with like
it is.
very good acting.
And guys that are like
very
jacked.
athletic, yeah.
Yeah.
Mind you, it is still a little dangerous. Like
It is.
when people like it's fake. It's not
very,
fake.
No,
like,
so they do like they're very acrobatic. Like they do like these crazy moves and these slams and stuff, and it's very like traumatizing to your body. Like Brock Lesnar, I'm pretty sure he said he would get more injured doing that than UFC because you're just kind of like throwing each other in the air. Like it's just like all these crazy movements. Obviously, UFC is very dangerous as well, but.
Even like with wrestling, you're not in control. It's like, here's the move that my partner is going to do. I have no control over this. Like in MMA, like, okay, you're about to get slammed. You're about to do this. Okay, protect or try and counter or do something, right? Where it's okay, you're getting power slammed. That's Triple H's move.
Yeah.
Suck it. That's what's gonna happen. Like pray that he does it right.
And they do it with injuries too. Like they could have like broken ribs and they're still going out there and doing crazy shit. But boxing, I'm not gonna say obviously again, but boxing is just using your hands. Which that's a very huge sport. Then you got the UFC, which I would argue is much bigger now. For example, there's 40 million people that follow their Instagram page, and that's a lot of people, right? Like if you look at
40 million.
Yeah, if you look at the NHL, they've got, I don't know how many they have, but I've went and looked at the different pages and kind of done my research. But the UFC is the most followed sports league on the planet. It's massive right now. It's really blown
40
off.
million is huge.
Yeah. So the UFC basically it's mixed martial arts, and you're able to use boxing, kickboxing, and the gloves that you use are very small. They're 4
And
ounces.
wrestling.
Yeah, and wrestling.
So it's like everything mixed together.
Exactly. It's just
Mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like like that fight that George went to go see with Becca in Vegas? That was UFC.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then there's bare knuckles, which
Then there's bare knuckle. Yeah. So there's bare knuckle boxing, which it's boxing just with
The wraps.
just with not even the wraps.
No?
Like you're not allowed to wrap your knuckles, which is pretty crazy. And then that's kind of taken off a little bit. But I'm only in MMA, so I strictly only do MMA. Like I've thought about taking maybe some boxing or kickboxing fights, but I just want to focus solely on MMA. Just because you could get hurt doing these other sports and that sort of stuff. So.
I mean, in any fighting sport, you can easily get hurt. Yeah. Like you're like trying to make it sound like it's not dangerous. I just do MMA. It's like it's a safe one. It's like you can get kicked to the head. Yeah. You can get it in a submission like a leg lock and break a fucking tibia. But
has there been like statistics or like studies ever done on because like obviously like people with football, like with CT and everything, that's like a big thing. Like almost every is there like comparatives like which one's more dangerous?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of comparisons that they're doing right now, and I think that I believe boxing had the most I forget what it was, but bare knuckle boxing had the least traumatizing.
Really?
Yeah.
And you think it'd be the most?
Yeah, basically the most injuries that happen are like just kind of facial cuts and that sort of stuff. Not as bad with head trauma, but I believe boxing has really bad head trauma because you're basically the whole dynamic of the sport is you're kind of just standing toe to toe and like trading shots the whole time, as opposed to MMA. I could go into a fight and take the guy down for 15 minutes and not take one strike. Yeah. That's so true. there's a huge difference.
But even like with MMA, if you think about it compared to boxing or even like football, I would fair to guess that like MMA is probably less dangerous than boxing or football.
Yeah.
Like football, you can get a blind, like you can get blindsided in football. Or if you're a lineman, you're doing constant like battle to battle every single play. Yeah. Or it's like even a football play. If you get like a blindside sack, if you're a quarterback, like that's like whiplash every play. In MMA, you know what you're up against. Yeah. It's you versus one other guy. You just like hands up. Yeah, you can get a bad shot, but overall, you're in control, or you're in somewhat control.
Could also be easier to like detect the actual injury right on and like head on versus in football, you may not find out for 15 years later.
Yeah. But no, I my last 2 fights I haven't even taken a punch, but it's the training that leads up to that fight. So you're doing a lot of sparring and a lot of live drilling and that sort of stuff, which is very rough on the body. So that's kind of where I take my most damage, or I have lately. And so, yeah, I've been in several fights where I don't get hit. But leading up to that for 10 weeks, I'm getting hit like constantly.
Steady.
Can I ask a really stupid question?
Sure.
No such thing as a stupid question.
This is really stupid. But like, how do people like get cut and bleed? Like, see, like I know you're ready.
Stupid question. Yeah,
this is stupid. No, but seriously.
So, Danny, just because you're wearing a glove, it doesn't.
Like, what's sharp?
It doesn't have to be sharp. Danny, if I take this round bottle, right? There's nothing sharp about it.
Like curious.
If I take this bottle, it's flat, and I smash it against your head, and it doesn't break, it'll still cut your head.
Not just give me a bruise?
No, because your skin will open at some point.
There's certain points on your face, like for example, your eyebrows, that are much more susceptible to getting I guess,
because your bones too, right?
Yeah,
like when it hits
sharper,
really
like,
hard,
right
right? Like your right here is a really spot.
Well, yeah, because I feel like eyebrows and like this part of the face gets like bleeds the most.
But like your chin, like for example, if you take this beer bottle and you just bang it on your chin really hard, between the pressure from the beer bottle to the bone on your chin, your skin will crack.
Yeah, exactly.
Causing it to bleed. I think.
Honestly, it's just that sounds correct. So we'll just
roll with it.
We'll just go with that.
I want to know at what point in your life you used to play hockey.
Yeah.
At what point in your life you say I'm going to be a fighter? Like I'm just good at it? Like I've beaten up a couple people.
I'd stopped playing hockey when I was 15, and I'd grown up just being so active and wanting to play sports my whole life, and I just was sitting at home and I was watching TV, and it was like a Saturday night, and all of a sudden the Ultimate Fighter TV show came on, and I just was blown out of my mind. I watched these guys, they're training, it seemed like a cool sport. And then I remember I watched these two guys were fighting, and the one guy kicked the dude, the guy caught the leg kick, punched him in the face, knocked him out. I'm like, I'm sold. That was the coolest thing of all time. I'm like, how did he know that this was going to happen? I want to learn that. That's the coolest thing ever. And then now here I am. It's just
like I watch shit like that too, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that. That seems cool, but I don't think I'm actually gonna go and do that.
Yeah,
we're just like, I'm athletic. I think I can be good at this.
Yeah, I just really I was kind of lost at that time in my life, and I just figured, you know what, this is something that I could get into, and so I basically started getting into it, and it was just a snowball effect of like, you know, you fight once, and then you keep fighting, and now I've had 20 MMA fights. So
yeah, it's just like when you think about it, it's crazy. And we had a guest on the podcast earlier this week, and a very kind of similar situation where she picked up the sport late.
Yeah, and
she was just like, I'm an athlete. I know I'm an athlete. Like, what can I be good at? And her dad was like, you got to go to this like Olympic training camp. And she went to an Olympic training camp, and now she's like a national Canadian athlete, like training for the Olympics. Mm-hmm. Where it's just like yours is almost kind of similar, a little bit different. It wasn't your dad or mom, and like I heard the story how your parents didn't know about your first goal. Yeah. I'm just like, how do you even hide that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like maybe social media wasn't as popular when you started, but like, it was crazy. How do you hide that? It's like, Mom, Dad, I'm just going to the casino in Windsor or something. Like, what do you say to that?
I was just like this young kid that was very hungry and wanted to compete, and nothing was fucking stopping me. And so I basically what happened was I got to this gym in London, Ontario, and I knew I wanted to fight in the UFC. And basically I was this 16, 17, 18-year-old kid. I'm fighting UFC guys like that are in the UFC, grown ass men, and getting the shit beat out of me like every fucking day. And I'm like, this is so cool. And it's like, meanwhile, I'm just coming up with like black eyes. My parents like, where did you get that black eye? And I would just make up some story on the spot. I was playing road hockey, and the ball came up and hit me in the face.
So you're a good liar.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe he didn't play hockey with Justin Bieber, right? Man, that's just like, I'm thinking. Don't get me wrong, I'm an athletic dude too. Like I love to compete. Like I play my beer league, I play my men's league. At no point do I ever watch like an MMA fight. And when I was in university, like UFC just started taking off.
When were you at Western? We didn't even
08 to 2012.
Damn.
So I was just leaving
when I just
Wow. So I was basically like, Saturday night at like UFC fights were a big thing. Yeah. We'd get together, we'd go to someone's house, everyone pitched $10, we'd buy the stupid $90 UFC fight. We'd sit there for 5 hours. We'd drink some beers, and then we'd go out to the bar after. Yeah. And like some of the fights would go to like 2 a.m. depending on the time zone.
Yeah, the time zone shit is ridiculous.
Brutal. But we would all do that, and you'd watch like this was like Rampage Jackson was like.
Oh, he was my favorite.
Rampage was sick.
He was my number one guy.
Who else was there?
George St. Pierre.
George St. Pierre was sick. I saw him on an airplane a couple weeks ago.
No way.
When I was going to Vegas, this would have been in December. He was right in front of me. I'm like,
he was probably going to the karate combat. Kickboxing.
It would have been December 8, 9, 10.
I'm thinking that was the time when they had the karate kickboxing event there.
Yeah, maybe. I saw him in front of me, and I was like, GSP. He looks back, I was like, man, you were like my idol like 10 years ago, man. Well,
10 years ago.
Great to meet you, man. Well, he's been out of the game for what, 5 years now?
No, since 2016 was his last fight.
So fuck 8 years ago, right?
Insane.
Like, but he was, so George St. Pierre, Canadian, like just like straight discipline, like I think he was karate or jiu-jitsu was his forte.
He was more of a like he knew everything.
Yeah, but like he was the best pound per pound fighter in the world.
Yeah.
So like
he was like one of the first big stars, and especially in Canada because the sport was just kind of growing, and he was like the first big Canadian star. And like anytime he would fight, literally everybody would be watching. Like everybody knew GSP was fighting. And then now we have like Conor McGregor, where he absolutely.
Oh, I met him.
No way. Where at?
In LA at Craig's.
Wow.
I went to like LA, like at Craig's in LA. And we were having dinner, and like we turned around, he was on crutches then.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wow, that must have been after his fight versus
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, right after the fight.
That's crazy.
Okay, so he's MMA.
Yeah, he's MMA.
Okay.
He's a UFC fighter. But anyways, he like really blew up the sport. And then another thing that really blew up the sport was COVID, because at that time literally nothing was going on. It was like March 2020 or like April, whatever, and the UFC had this deal with ESPN. I think what happened was, and they needed to have a certain amount of events per year, and Dana White is a boss, and like he just like, you know what, no, we're gonna do it. When the whole world was shut down, they were putting on UFC events, so everyone was watching, and then everyone started betting on these fights. And I found that kind of time was like very crucial for the UFC's like success, because so many people were watching when the whole world
I watched a bunch
down.
of fights during COVID.
Yeah, like
even like during university when you said everyone used to go watch and pay $10 or whatever. Whoever had like the TV would go and do it. We'd all watch, but I never knew who was actually.
So even the thing with like UFC specifically, like boxing and UFC or MMA are sports where the fan engagement isn't as important to the actual sport. Whereas like hockey, for example, when you saw the arena with no fans, it was weird.
Yeah.
Basketball, you saw a stadium with no fans, it was
point.
weird.
Yeah.
With UFC, it's like the fans not being there didn't make a difference.
No.
It was like you're in the cage and you're watching grown ass men and women beat the living hell out of each other.
It's
It was like,
all intense, and there was like, it's cool because with the crowd there, it's like, okay, there's some sort of atmosphere, but then with no crowd there, you could hear every single punch. And kick, and it was like. It was pretty cool because like you literally there was no one in there, and someone would kick and you would just hear the slap on the leg, and you would hear the people like going like after they get hit, and it was like so cool.
So you fought during COVID, right? Or were you just like
2021? Yeah. So it was.
Were there fans inside or?
Yeah, I was in Kentucky, actually. So
I was like wondering to see like if someone like who's been in both positions, what they would prefer. Like,
yeah,
do they like that? Like,
I've never
hearing everything, or is it like the atmosphere? Because like when people say too, you're at your home, like playing hockey, home versus away advantage. No, but like the atmosphere really has a difference on their play.
Oh, I 100% agree. I love fighting in front of the crowd, and Toronto when I just fought here recently was like this. It was the best experience.
Well, even like just the way it, like your knockout was great.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
When I saw the clip and I was like, that's what literally started this. I was like, fuck, I need to get him on the podcast. I think I messaged you like a week, not even a week after the fight. I was like, we got to get you on. Like, let's do this. Like, great knockout.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that, and thanks for reaching out.
Oh man, of course. Yeah. One of the boys. Look, literally, you walked in. Like, how do we not know each other?
It's crazy.
Like, now the funny part is now that we've met and like we're gonna see each other. We're gonna see each other out like once a week. I'm like,
you guys have probably been in the same space, just like not
100%,
just not knowing who each other are. Like literally, probably next to each other.
We probably literally like swap back. Oh my bad, bro. Like, bumped your drink or something. Just didn't know who each other was.
That's too funny.
That's so bad. Okay, so I want to actually ask something. So you've had some wins, you've had some losses.
Yeah.
What's the biggest takeaway from a loss, and what's the biggest takeaway from a win?
Losses are definitely crucial. You need to lose, I think. I just think the biggest thing I take away from a loss is just like a reignite of like you just fucking want it more. You're just like, fuck that. Like, that's not the way I should have performed. And you kind of reevaluate everything you do in training camp and that sort of stuff. And you really kind of have your back against the wall, because when you lose, it just feels like the whole world is like collapsing. Like, I get so depressed, and my brother, I'll just be sitting in my room and my brother's like, come on, get up. And, you know, like he'll be worried about me and like feel sorry. And then I'll just kind of dust myself off and kind of just reevaluate exactly what sort of happened. Was it I wasn't prepared mentally? Was it I didn't physically prepare properly? Or, you know, you kind of just take every little piece of the puzzle and kind of put everything together and kind of like have a reignited fire. So I think that's the biggest takeaway for sure.
Yeah, again, it's tough because there's days where you could have been so mentally, physically like prepared and just wasn't your fucking night.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think has more pull, like on like actual like fight night? Like your physical, because like you've been training for it, so physically it's like you're almost at your prime, but it's like mentally, like I feel like that would control everything. Grind
because during training camp, obviously, like I don't really have a social life and that sort of stuff, and that sort of takes a toll. And you're eating like you're just eating so cleanly.
You're eating for purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Which sucks. I love eating for pleasure. But it's just like, there's just so much on the line. Like your friends and family are watching, they're counting on you to win. There's just so much pressure and you got to
your family wasn't watching the first couple fights.
Exactly. There's just it's something. I've got a sports therapist now, and I'm always visualizing at every single time I'm home. It's a full-time job. I'm either in the gym or I'm at home visualizing. I have a sheet of paper that I read over and over and over again, and like performance statements on what I'm gonna do. I'm completely obsessed with this sport, and I love it so much. It gives me drive and purpose, and it's just like I'm fired up just talking about it. So
I can tell. So hold on, I'm gonna ask this. So on the losses, though, you say they're crucial, but I know some. I don't personally know, but I know in some sports there's fighters that have taken losses and have never got back to their normal self. Like a good example is Ronda
Rousey.
Yeah, she took her first knockout, and she, like, from what I read, she never came back to the fighter she was because she was invincible. Yeah. Now she's like hurtable. Yeah. What would you say to that? Like, have you ever had that moment where you're like, fuck, like I just got knocked out, I just got beat. Like, can I do this? Take me in like that mindset. Like, what's...
Well, first of all, I would never bash Ronda Rousey.
She's still one of the greats.
She was an incredible fighter. She did like so much for the sport, but to me, I just think that's sort of like in some capacity, just like a mental weakness that like, hey, we all go through this sort of stuff. Like you see guys that they'll go undefeated for their first 5-6 fights, and then as soon as they lose, it's just like they lose their shit and like they can't get bounced back. They don't have that swag anymore, but it's all a part of the sport, and it's a journey, and losses are part of it. Unfortunately, you just have to learn how to kind of deal with them. And if I just see so many times people lose in the sport, and their just ego gets involved, like, oh, like it's because I didn't do this, it's because I didn't do that. It's like, no, you don't. You need to take full accountability and really assess what actually happened, and then that's the way you're going to grow. So that's kind of the way I've sort of done it.
Makes sense. It's obviously tough because it's not a sport where you have 82 games a season.
Yeah.
Or you're playing, 10 fights a year, or like 16 games a year, like football. It's like
we'll get it back tomorrow.
Yeah, you have like what, 3 fights a year, maybe 4 fights a year, because it's such a tough sport where you literally get you're beating up people or getting beat up.
Yeah.
So you can only do it so many times a year. So you think about it. If you have like a good span, like you're only fighting a handful of times a year, so that one loss is like, fuck, like you got 4 months till you can make it back. So I'm like, oh, go get them tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's why the losses hurt so much. I think it's because you just never know when you're going to fight next, and there's just so many different like there's a lot more dynamic of the sport that people don't understand. Like getting a fight is just a whole battle in itself.
Yeah, how does that happen? Like, how does that work?
So typically someone has a manager, and the manager will reach out to certain promotions, or the promotion will reach out to our managers, or they'll reach out to me or the fighter specifically. There's different avenues to go, but in order to get a fight, it's much more strenuous than people understand. It's not like, oh, these 2 guys are going to fight, we're all set. It's like, no, we have to... Are these guys accepting the payment? Like, are they willing to fight for this payment? Are they going to get their medicals complete? Are they not going to get injured during the training camp? Are they going to back
weight
out?
Class.
So someone basically has to say, like, I'm hosting a fight tonight. Like,
yeah. So MMA,
and then they have to like figure out the rest. Like, MMA, who's fighting? Who are they picking?
Yeah, MMA is a business, okay, which people don't understand. And so, for example, if there's a promotion that's coming to Toronto, they're going to get... Their main source of revenue is through ticket sales. So they're going to get people from Toronto to fight other people, maybe from the same vicinity as here, because it's not going to cost as much, because you're not going to have to pay for hotels, flights, this, that, food. Or, they'll fly someone in. You know, they've flown my last 2 opponents in Unified MMA, which is really amazing. And, you know, there's just so many different aspects of the sport that people don't understand. So in order to put these events on, it's very expensive, and they want the ticket sellers to sell tickets. So, for example, myself and you know. So.
Yeah, it's like basically like a little mini festival. You're gonna have all your artists. You got to make sure that your artists want to come for this time.
Exactly, that's a good.
It's a good thing. Like, what if you have a fighter that doesn't want to fight the early slot?
It's Fire
their
Festival.
ego's too bad. This is Fire Festival. Yeah. One thing I want to ask for Danny specific. I know a little bit about this. Is making weight.
Yeah.
So again, we were listening to the Simple podcast earlier too, and you kind of touched upon it, but. What's it like? So your typical weight now, we have some guests here. Hi, Vicky. So typical weight, you're what? Like 210?
Right now I'm like, I'm 202.
Okay. So you're around the 200 mark. Mm-hmm. Well, and you normally fight at what? 175, 180? 170. Yeah. So take us through it. You've got, let's say your next fight. Do you have your next fight already or no?
I'm not sure what's going on. I'm
Okay. So let's pretend you're fighting.
Okay. No, my biggest question that I had before that I was confused about was when you weigh in.
Yeah.
And so you're weighing in at a weight, but then you have like the next 24 hours till the fight to basically gain all your weight back. So how does that make
all your weight
or whatever weight you like? What's the weight that you gain back?
Okay.
And why are you gaining that? Like, why aren't you fighting at the weight that you're weighing in at?
That's just the dynamic of the sport. It's weight cutting makes no sense. It's very like I can't even explain it. However, let's just say I'm fighting in 10 weeks. I'll diet down to roughly about 190 pounds, 188. And then the week of the fight, I will lose like 18 to 20 pounds in that vicinity of like 3 days. Usually what happens is you deplete your body of sodium and carbohydrates because those retain water. And you basically do workouts and in the sauna suit, and you sit in the sauna until you make weight and sweat it all out. It's not fun. But then afterwards, I'd like to gain a lot of weight back. So my last fight, I was 188 on the Sunday before the weigh-ins, which were on the Thursday. I weighed in at 170 on the Thursday, and then I went back up to 196 that night. So I got like...
Sorry, say that again. So a Sunday before the fight, you were 188. Yeah. You dropped down to 170 in 6 days.
18 pounds.
No, in... Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days.
Also, that was insane how you just counted. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Did you see how you just did that?
I don't know.
You just went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I can't wait to get that on the
video. Am I missing something? Did I count wrong?
Okay, so you dropped 18 pounds in 4 days, basically. 4.5 days.
Yeah.
And then you gained
20 pounds.
20 pounds that night.
26 pounds.
That night?
Yeah.
24 hours.
But so I don't think my question's coming across. Like,
no, Dan, I'm with you on this. Like, that's fucked.
No. Okay, yeah, it is.
The math isn't mathing right now.
It is fucked that you're able to fluctuate that much. But no, my reason, like, you have to weigh in at a certain weight, right? Mm-hmm. Why are you allowed to gain all this weight back before the actual fight? Like, aren't you supposed to be fighting at that same weight?
Like
you don't have to. So what's the point?
It's just rules, like it's just the rules. Like, it's so stupid. I agree with you. I can't even explain it, but yeah, it's just I can't even explain it.
Fighting at that weight would be a disadvantage.
Exactly. So
by not gaining the weight back, you're at a disadvantage. Because like, you can't fight. Like, you at 170, that day you weighed in, you can't fight. Because
no, I can't.
You got no water. You have no energy. You're so depleted of all life, basically. Yeah. You're just.
Then why not weigh in at the 190?
Well, because then the other guys are going to be doing it.
Or something,
the
right?
other guys you're going to be fighting are going to be doing what I did, and then I'm going to be that guy that's...
You're going to be fighting people at a different
25-pound disadvantage, so people are already doing it at this sport. It's like a very well-known thing. So
you got to remember, if he's 202...
This is the most fascinating part about the sport.
If he's 202, he drops down to 188 for like the week of. Right, so you're already in good shape at 180. Yeah, you're in tip-top shape.
I'm like, that's like when I'm 190, 188, like I'm in very good physical shape.
Fucking shredded.
Yeah, I'm looking good.
I'm just like, yeah.
I'm looking good. But yeah, like right now I would just diet down to that weight class and then not that weight class, that weight, and then deplete my body that fight week. And it's all a science. Everything is all planned. Like, I have everything planned out. I'm very meticulous when it comes to that sort of stuff. I have a journal that I write in every day. I've got an app I use to count my calories. I
You don't fuck around.
I don't fuck around.
You can't fuck around at this point.
Yeah.
That's really fascinating. Okay.
What do you think the hardest part about the sport is?
There's so much. The mental grind is definitely is definitely one. I would say, you know, I would consider myself a very social guy that likes to hang out with people, and
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, and basically, it sucks kind of you know, not being able to do that during training camp, but it's all worth it in the end of the day. So I mean, the social aspect of, you know, not being able to do things and seeing people and that sort of stuff kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. So
it is your job too.
What you love,
yeah.
So wait, what's a typical day in training camp? You're in training camp right now, correct?
Yeah.
What's a typical day in training camp look like?
It all depends. Like there's just so many variables and different aspects when it comes to how to properly structure a training day or training camp or week. I usually have my training sessions scheduled for a week in advance, and I know exactly what I'm going to do. Oh, I need to do more BJJ or wrestling or work on, you know, my defense.
Hold on, Danny, what do you think BJJ stands for?
You don't want to know what I think it means.
See, I do want to know what it stands for.
It's not appropriate.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Oh.
Yeah.
You thought blowjob something. You definitely blowjob jelly.
We don't talk sex drugs.
jelly.
We don't talk sex drugs or
Yeah,
politics.
yeah,
Move on.
Okay, so you decide either like what you gotta focus on.
Okay, so for example, I will do 2 to 3 training sessions per day, and depending on how far out I am of the fight and who I'm fighting and the way my body's feeling and my weight, there's just so many different variables when it comes to me of like scheduling a training week. And, you know, depending how I feel and this and that. Usually Sundays are my off days. I usually get fired up on Mondays and go way too hard, and I'll do like way too much. Like I'll do like 3 or 4 workouts in a day and just like completely blow my gasket. And then the Tuesday I'm like, oh my God.
You were going to say blow your load.
Yeah.
Blow your gasket.
Yeah. Then, yeah. And then, yeah, it's just sort of just everything structured properly. Like I'll do Mondays I'll usually do kickboxing pads with my coach Ram, and then we'll spar a little bit, and then I'll do strength and conditioning, and then I'll do wrestling. So just like 3 different workouts in that day.
What's your favorite?
Kickboxing for sure. I'm definitely well known as being a kickboxer and a striker, and yeah, that was my first love. So.
You know, it'd be a really funny like content thing. Me and you just get in there, go like a training day with you. Just like Saturday, me and you would just jump in there.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Danny's like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I just did my
I'm
nails
actually
today.
down.
Yeah, we should do it.
Yeah.
Like we're not gonna fight, but like just like I've done like random like training
No,
things,
like things
boxing
like this, like
and
you
stuff.
just like interest me. So like I feel like it would be cool.
It'd
It
be
would be
fun.
fun.
Learn
I
something
would
new.
show you guys how to do it. It's fun.
I definitely get hurt though.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'd be injured within 2 minutes.
I'd have a
I'm
black.
just like,
I
get
bruise
injured.
so easily. Like I'd have a black eye and like for the next month. I'd love it. I'd be like, "What'd you do?" I was fighting. Like that's cool.
Daddy would milk this for sure. Like, oh, you gotta see the other guy.
Yeah.
I know the other girl.
The other girl. No, the
Go for
other
a guy.
Or guy.
I want to ask, what's this tattoo?
Which one? Oh, so my girlfriend passed away, and that was the last photo I ever took of her at the airport. So I just basically, so I was like, okay, goodbye or whatever. And could I take a photo of you? And she just kind of posed like this. It was like a really nice photo. And then
I thought this was Wonder Woman. I'm so sorry, man. My condolences.
No, you
That's-
asked. It's fine.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be like a Wonder Woman, like some story with that, but my bad.
No worries. It comes with the territory of having that tattoo so visible.
How many do you have?
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6. I love tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any?
Yeah, I'm got probably a dozen or so, maybe
I
15.
love them. I'm
All,
gonna get
but mine
more.
are all like strategically placed where you can't see a single one of them.
Yeah,
like, right
that's
now.
a good. That's
Like this is the only one that you could kind of see right now. Little rose.
I love tattoos.
Meaningless, but yeah. When I first started getting them, every tattoo had a meaning. I'm like my last name, like Bible quote, like an angel.
Yeah.
Now it's just like I have a bull skull on my knee. Someone's like, "What's it mean?" It's like I don't take no bullshit from anyone. Like really, I was like, no, I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
When you're young, you're like you want them to have meaning. Now I'm just like, no, just fucking paint me.
Yeah, paint me, seriously. Do you have any tattoos?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's
Always.
a cool location. Does that have meaning, or you just?
Yeah, me and my mom got it. She got forever. I got always.
I was literally gonna say, does the other person have forever?
Yeah, it's my mom.
I didn't know that. I didn't know your mom had it.
My mom really wanted a tattoo, and like I wanted one too, and she always said that to me growing up.
Aww,
So it's cute.
Lisa.
Yeah, but I want 3 tattoos. And
What are the other 2 you want?
I want a cross above here, and then I want a butterfly on my thumb.
Okay.
They're so addicting. I every time I get one, I'm like, oh, I want another one so bad.
I basically did all my legs during COVID.
Yeah.
Like as soon as tattoo shops opened up, like during COVID, you know, like you're endlessly scrolling. I've got like.
I went illegally.
Did you?
For my first tattoo on my neck. Yeah, I'm cool.
I just remember like screenshotting so many tattoos during COVID, and then my guy opened up. I got 2 eagles on my thighs, basically like matching eagles. Then I got the skull, the bull skull. Yeah. Then I found a random, like, I thought it was an angel, like an angel of death. It turned out it was just Icarus. You know the story of Icarus?
Oh, yeah.
Basically,
that's, cool. That's really cool.
It's Icarus. I didn't know that.
Greek, and I love.
Oh, yeah, you are. Yeah, so I didn't know it was Icarus. And someone's like, oh, where'd you get the Icarus tattoo? I was like, what do you mean the Icarus tattoo? He's like, that's Icarus. I'm like, really? He Googles, like, Icarus tattoo. My tattoo is the one that shows up.
No, shut up.
Well, it's not mine, but, like, the one I copied of, right?
That's
yeah, and then I got a couple more on my legs. I don't even know what else.
I got this one a few years ago, and then I got this one. I got all these last year, basically.
Yeah, like
I got this one, and then I got 2, and then I'm like, I want 2 more, and then I want more. That's
this rose is my favorite one now, and I just got it because I had time left on my session.
Yeah,
like he finished one of my tattoos like within 3 hours. He's like, I got another hour for it if you want, or you can just dip. And I'm like, fuck it. What else you want to do? He's like, I don't know. What do you think? I'm like, I got this rose. I kind of want to do a rose. Like, you down?
That's cool.
He's like, how big? I was like, literally a couple inches. He's like, down.
That's cool.
Where do you go?
My cousin, I go to her.
Fuck, of course your cousin, eh? Fucking Greeks, eh? Greeks, eh?
We're not actually cousins, but we just.
Oh, we fucking know. We knew that.
So George, you probably know George. You guys are somehow related.
George would love this.
Yeah, you guys are somehow related.
Yeah,
he's Greek, and he'll be like, "Oh, my cousin in Mykonos." I'm like, "Bro, you don't have cousins in me."
No.
Yeah, it's like my dad's cousins, like sister's husband's kid. I'm like, not related at all.
Anytime I say cousins to a buddy, they're like, they're not actually your cousins. It's
not actually.
You just call everyone your cousin.
It's like their last name ends in Opolis, so it's like, yeah, they're basically cousins.
Yeah, we are cousins.
Yeah, basically.
Everyone. But
wait, have you been to Greece? Sorry, wait. Yeah. Tattoos you get from your cousin?
Yeah, she works at a place on Queen Street now.
Okay.
She was working at a place on Church, but now she's like right down the street from here. I forget what it's called. It's that massive one. It's huge.
What's it called?
I don't know. It's right beside Urban Outfitters. Forget what it's called.
That's what it's called. There's like
right
10
here.
tattoos.
It's
right
massive.
on this,
Like it's huge.
The first one I did my half sleeve and a couple others I have was on Nude Tribe right across from like Much Music there.
Okay.
So that was a big one too. I got like a whole bunch of piercings there.
No way.
Unionville.
You're from Unionville?
No.
Oh.
I'm from Richmond Hill, but
I didn't know you went to Unionville for that.
Yeah, and it just so happens that George got his tattoos there too.
Oh, small world.
Right? I just found on Instagram.
George is Greek. He's Greek. They're cousins.
They're cousins.
Small world.
I know.
Yeah.
Have you been to Greece?
Yeah, I have. I love it there. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Have you been there?
Yeah.
Where have you been?
I've only done Athens and Mykonos.
Oh, of course you've been to Mykonos.
Yeah,
of course.
So again, one of our best friends, George, the guy I started the podcast with, we've been to Mykonos together 4 times maybe.
That's
this would be our 5th now. And I love going with him because he loves going to Mykonos.
Yeah.
And when he's in Mykonos, he like wants to be the king and he
God.
sorts everything. I don't think I've ever sorted anything from like my own cab in Mykonos. Like but by the moment we
I gotta come with you guys.
Buddy,
this summer.
He sorts everything.
Or sorry, not this weekend.
I kid you not, from the moment you get off the plane, you don't have to think about anything. It's sorted.
Wow.
Like we went out without him one night and like the cars were there to pick us up after the bar, drop us off at the bar. He wasn't even with us.
Wow.
It's just like, when you're ready, here's the number. All you gotta do is text saying, come get me.
Wow.
And it's sorted.
Wow.
You don't have to pay anything at the end. He'll be like, okay, guys, this is what we owe.
Wow.
And it's fucking the only one year, and if he's listening to this, he'll know. One year we went, me, him, and his cousin, his actual cousin.
His actual cousin.
And there was only 3 of us. We're like, you know what? Since we're spending a lot of money on like day parties and clubs and bars, like we don't need a nice big place. We're only 3 guys. Let's just get like a normal like house. Like we don't need a villa with a pool and this. We stayed in the middle of fucking nowhere. There was like cows on our fucking property. And this place was not a dump, but like compared to what we know, because we normally go like 10, 12 people.
Yeah.
So we got like nice villas, like good views, overlooking the water, like pools.
Mykonos is so nice, man.
There's no bad views in Mykonos.
No.
Except this one place we stayed in this one time. So we're all going this summer. Me, her, Vicky, you're coming. There's a group of 12,
There's actually 24 of us.
So now there's 24
yeah.
of
Now
us,
there's 25. So
Now there's 25. We got 2. Do you speak Greek?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Like Greek or like broken Greek?
No, Greek.
Okay,
yeah.
Greek.
Like George is getting married to my best friend Becca in Greece. So in Monavasia. So then we're all going to.
That's
I've been to Monavasia too. Yeah.
Where's that?
What kind of Greek are you?
It's like
what's it called?
Mainland Monavasia.
Yeah,
it's on the mainland, like
2
near,
hours
like
north
in between
of
Sparta, like near like 45 minutes
probably
from Sparta.
Probably the Peloponnese end, where I'm kind of from. So
I think it's just north of Athens.
No,
2 hours north.
No, Sparta's like
Southwest.
southwest.
It's southwest.
Yeah.
And it's just by the water. It's kind of like an inlet. I don't know. I haven't been. I'm like talking like I've
everywhere
been.
in Greece is near the water. Yeah.
I've been to Corfu. Stunning.
Oh, Corfu looks really nice.
Like literally my favorite. We actually went together.
Yeah.
Pados
Crete.
was amazing.
Oh, you've been to Pados?
Yeah.
I loved Crete. That was my.
I really
want
to go to Crete.
Crete was my favorite one because it's massive. Like it's really big.
Yeah.
A lot of things to do. They have kind of their own culture there, and the Turks and the Greeks fought for that land for like thousands of years. So you've got a lot of Turkish influence in the buildings and that sort of stuff, like Muslim influence. And it's like the buildings are absolutely stunning. The food is amazing. You're on the water the whole time. It's beautiful. So.
It's like further south. Like it's further.
It's like east. It's like
yeah.
See, a lot of these like nicer places I'll do when I'm married or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I get old and I'm not trying to just party the whole time I'm in Europe. I'll go do Santorini. I'll go do Crete. I'll go do the Amalfi Coast.
Yeah.
You know,
Amalfi's gorgeous.
Yeah, I'll go do it when I'm married.
Yeah.
We went and we met Emily Ratajkowski.
Great. Wow. Like you met her, you sat down, you chatted with her.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got invited in a boat the next day. And my mom was like the girls were like, come on, like, let's go. I was like, I can't. My mom booked us like a god walk.
Losers. You could have been
paid for this whole trip for all my friends too.
You could have been friends with Emily.
We're going.
You could have been friends with Emily.
All your friends.
Well, like they paid for their flights and stuff, but they paid for the rest. So
wow, that's nice.
You could have been
say
friends
no
with
to my mom. My mom books this like god path walk through Italy. I'm like gonna say yes. We're like, okay, whatever. Then we end up seeing her at the club that night.
You could have been friends with Emily Ratajkowski.
Whatever.
Crazy.
Instead, you're here with us. It's okay. What actually, this is a good one. Where is like any good travel spots you've been to because of fighting?
Yeah, a ton actually. I've been to Thailand, which is so cool.
Sick one, yeah.
I've fought in South Africa, which is really cool.
Where?
Really?
Johannesburg.
Oh, that's cool.
That was an amazing experience. We, my coach and I, Chris Ordescu, we went out like a week before, and we went on like a safari and that sort of stuff. It was the coolest.
Oh, how are you dieting when you're like in a safari and shit though? Isn't that like kind of hard?
Yeah, it wasn't easy, but
you're like,
how do you train too when you're doing that kind of?
Yeah, so we met this woman on the plane, and she kind of gave us a number to her driver because like women can't really go out alone in South Africa and Johannesburg because it's very dangerous there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like a very dangerous, like one of the most dangerous cities on the planet. And yeah, for women
I didn't
too.
know.
Yeah. But anyways, so this guy ends up taking us to a safari, and we're 2 hours in the rural part of South Africa, like driving, and you're seeing people. It was crazy. Like you're seeing people with like those tubs on their head, and like you see people living in huts,
and you're chilling in a range or something, eh? Like
and we're just
AC.
It was crazy, and then we get our vehicle stuck in the safari, and I'm like losing my fucking mind because
like I have a fight.
I'm just like, I have a fight, and I'm cutting weight, and we're 3 hours in the like middle of South Africa, and I'm so uncomfortable. I've just got anxiety right now. They're like, hey, we gotta fucking go. We gotta leave. We gotta go. And Chris is like, man, calm down. Like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, let's go. I want to get back to the hotel. I'm not fucking around. And just like, kind of, it was a funny story. But anyways, yeah, it was a great time. I've been all over the States, all over Canada. I've trained while I was in Europe as well. So quite a few different places. I've been to Alaska. I fought there twice.
Alaska.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? My next question was gonna be, what's the weirdest place you've been?
Well, mine was gonna be, what's your favorite place you've ever?
The weirdest place I've been was Grand Prairie. I hated that place. It was the worst. I fought
Where's
in
that,
Fort
like Saskatchewan?
Alberta. Fort McMurray. I've also fought there. I fought in Vancouver. I fought in Calgary. I fought in Lethbridge. I fought Kentucky, Tennessee, Michigan.
Tennessee's good. Okay. Never mind.
Okay, what's your like favorite place you've ever like had a fight, or your favorite fight?
My favorite fight was, I would say my fight in Niagara Falls in last June was probably my favorite fight. It was the first time I'd ever fought at home, and I was super nervous going to that fight. I didn't know how I was going to react. I didn't know if I was going to get super nervous in front of the crowd, but I used all that kind of energy, and I came out the guy. So every fight I watch, every fight I have, I look up video of my opponent and I know exactly what the fuck I'm gonna do. And there's actually footage of me training like 10 weeks before the fight of just me kneeing my coach and like kneeing because the whole time we're saying we're gonna throw knees up the middle. So the guy comes at me, he bull rushes me, I throw a kick, I kind of glimpse him in the head, and then I just bring the knee up and he just goes down and I just start hammering him and he basically died on the canvas and I was celebrating and having a good time. So that was like that was in 14 seconds, I believe. But then my last fight, it was the same thing. I saw tendencies in my opponent's game and I told my jiu-jitsu coach like 3 weeks before, Barry Sims, I go, okay, this is what's going to happen. He's going to go for a leg kick and I'm going to step right through it with the overhand right. I'm going to clip him in the jaw and he's going to go down. And so 30 seconds into the fight, he goes for a kick. And I, like, as soon as he just lifts his leg up, I knew exactly what I was going to do. So I stepped right through it and I just see him go down. And then that was it. And that's why my last two fights were so quick, was because I knew the whole time what exactly I was going to do. I saw tendencies in my opponent's game and I kind of did the homework. And I just went in there and fucking did it. So,
see that, like, that's when, well, I forget the exact quote, but it's like when preparation meets
timing, maybe.
Yeah, preparation. Yeah, like, it's not luck. No, luck is preparation meets practice or something. Yeah. One of those two things, and it's true because what you're describing is not just like mental preparation where it's like you're studying your opponents, but it's also physical preparation because you need to do the move 100 times. Yeah. And I think it was like a Jake Paul clip I saw it randomly where it's like he practiced like a duck, body shot, headshot, and like that's what he did to one of his opponents, and he shows it like clip for clip in practice. Like did it 100 times. Like that was his thing. He like, I don't know.
I also have
like the exact same.
I also have a video of me cutting weight and hitting pads with my coach. And he's leg kicking me, and I'm stepping through with the right hand, Like we were practicing it the whole time. I knew exactly that's exactly what I was going to do. And I got in there, and like I said, I just saw him lift his leg for like
you knew
a centimeter. I'm just like, just boom. I just green light, just hit him in the face, and he just goes right down. So
I want to ask, when you like get on top of someone, is it controlled, like not anger, but is it controlled like punches, or are you just like, I'm just going to fucking kill this guy?
No, yeah, it is. So if you saw my last fight, my opponent goes down and then you're not allowed to hit in the back of the head. So I was about to go and hit him with my right hand, but my right hand was facing the back of his head. So then I go to throw the right hand. I saw that. So then I just grab him and then start feeding him with the left hand. And then that's kind of when the ref.
What a good mic switch too. Right? You see that? The mic switch.
He's used to the good switch. He has to get you like.
No, because again, like you see the videos and like this guy's just wailing on someone. You're like, do you think he mentally knows like, hey, right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand?
Like when you stop.
Like, what's that?
Like
when do I stop?
Gets you.
Like
when the ref gets me.
But like, do you like know like, okay, this is coming to an end? Like,
yeah,
I'm
but
like gonna,
I just.
You just keep going until like you actually get
it.
Well, have you ever seen like you obviously have, but there's videos of people like you think they're knocked out, they stumble back, you're like, there's no, and then they come back up. And it's like, then they go back down, they come back. It's like, how's that guy alive?
Yeah.
But again, it's like in their mental mind, like sometimes the body might shut off, but the brain is still going. They'll get the fuck back up.
What's the adrenaline?
Or vice versa. Sometimes your brain shuts off, but your body's still going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Okay, question. Do you have like a
Wait, what about the adrenaline thing? You just said something about adrenaline.
Yeah, but like, I couldn't finish my sentence. Do you have like a pre-fight ritual?
Yeah, what I usually... Well, not sort of like a ritual. I just have like some things planned out. Like for example, I have my whole day planned out of what exactly I'm going to do. And like, okay, at 1 p.m. I'm going to do this. At 2 p.m. I'm going to eat this banana. At 3, because you just follow a process the whole time. For me, I'm a guy that follows a certain process, and that's the way I feel like I could perform it to my full potential, is following a certain process and being able to visualize things like, okay, well, this week I'm going to do this. My weight should be at this point. Okay, I hit that point. Now that's a mental win. Okay, so you hear Conor McGregor saying that, like he lost a lot of his mental battles in a training camp because he said he was going to wake up at a certain time. He didn't. He said he was going to eat this meal. He didn't. He said he was going to do this workout. He didn't. That all adds up. And to me, those are the biggest wins is, if you tell yourself you're going to do something and you go out and do it, it just gives you extra confidence in that sort of stuff. So as far as pre-fight rituals, I don't really have like a certain ritual that I do, but I do follow a certain structure of, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do that day type of thing. So
do you have like anything like, like to hype you up? Like, do you have it like?
No, you're just already hyped up.
Like you're hyped, like, is it like a song? Like, are you in like what? I don't know. Like, is it like a locker room? Like,
you have a room.
Like whatever room you're in. Like, are you in there just being like, fuck, like let's fucking go?
Yeah, like I'm pretty amped up the whole 8 weeks before the fight. Like I can't sleep at nighttime. I'm just so pumped up. I'm like ready to go. Even my coach the last time, he came to my condo like before the fight, and I'm just like shadow boxing and the reflection of the microwave. And it's like looking at myself.
My man's waiting. He's got his chicken and rice in the microwave, shadow boxing. I'm just
like shadow box. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
What's your walkout song? And then Danny, what would yours be?
My walkout song?
Time to think while he answers.
Patiently Waiting by 50 Cent and Eminem.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like you have to go rap.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Give me a song.
Danny, you don't know, like, what can be anybody.
It depends, like, my mood.
You're about to get in a fight with somebody. What's the mood? Go.
Unwritten. Natasha Bedingfield.
I love that song.
Come on.
You're getting your ass beat.
Yeah.
You're going to get your ass beat.
That's a great song, by the way. I love that song.
Mine would be Chief Keef, Love Sosa.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that would hype me up.
Mine
would just be like...
Let's be real. It's going to be Taylor Swift.
No, mine would be 100% Love Sosa.
That's a good one.
When I worked at a sales office or like marketing sales office, everybody had like a sales song. That was my sales
song. Was it?
So like I'd make a sale. I wouldn't tell anybody. I'd walk over to like the radio, or we had like a Sonos, and I'd grab the phone. I'd just put on my song, and then I'd kind of like hide in the corner because it like builds up. So like the beginning of the song, there's like, Chief Keef ain't no shit. He ain't no gangster. He ain't know this. And then it like builds up.
That's too funny.
Like when I worked for the Jays, we all picked like our walk-up song, but I can't even remember what I picked.
Man, that's shit.
Yeah.
Completely off topic. If you weren't a fighter, what would you do? What would be your job?
Oh, man.
So you'll use that sociology degree.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know.
Be a sociology teacher? Like,
I don't know what you do with a sociology degree, to be honest.
What class?
It's just a generic degree that your parents wanted you to get.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. But I went to university strictly because my dad was just fired up for me to go, and I'm so glad he made me do it. And the day that I graduated, I gave him a massive hug and said thank you. Like, obviously did it for him, and I'm very glad that I did it. So
it's funny, like I work in the trades now. Family business is construction. If I could go back in time, if I tell my younger self, I'd like go to university, be an engineer, or go to college and do the construction engineering program, the technician program. And I was like, Dad, why the fuck did you not force me to do one of these? Like, you should. He goes, Ricky, I want you to do I want you to get an education. I didn't care what you did as long as you got the education.
What was your degree in?
I did the MIT program at Western.
Okay, that's
so it's media information technology. Okay. So it's a media/comms program essentially. The only Vicky's cheering. She's in marketing and comms.
Professional communications.
So the problem is with it, so half the class gets kicked out after first year.
Oh, really?
So there's 300 students in the first year. Half get kicked out into second year. So it's 150.
Why is that?
Because it's like, they say it's like an elite program. It's a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
So I didn't get kicked out in first year.
Really?
I did not.
I did.
I did not get kicked out of my program. And I'm like, you know what? If I leave, everyone's going to think I'm stupid. And I cared so much what other people thought about me that decided to stay with it. And my mom was like, no, it'll get better in second year. Don't worry. Like, it'll get better. And I was like, okay, you know what? It's fine. I took the courses I liked. That sounded interesting. Like, you know, social media. There was a course on social media, women in sports, like all these like cool sounding programs or courses.
Yeah.
Took them, hated them all.
Yeah.
And then at this point, I'm halfway done school. I'm just like, okay, do I switch out? At this point, then I'll have no electives. I'll have to take all the mandatory courses. So then third year and fourth year, I'm like, fuck it. I might as well just stick it out.
The thing that I've never understood is someone goes like 3 or 4 years into their degree and then like they have like 5 credits left and they just back out. It's like you just wasted so much time.
Just almost there.
The people that switch like, into something because they like my brother did 2 years of history pre-law. After his second year, he switched into engineering, and basically none of the courses transferred. I think like 2 courses.
Yeah, because you have to go science based.
He went science and math. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he basically had to redo his. So me and my brother graduated a day apart.
Wow.
He started 2 years before me.
No way.
Yeah, we went back. We went to London back and forth. It was 2 days apart. So we went to London on Tuesday, came back Tuesday night, went to London Thursday.
What'd you do? What was your post grad dinner? The keg. Everyone goes a keg. Everyone goes a keg.
I was the keg. One of us was the keg. One was Milestones.
No,
those are two.
The Italian restaurant.
Bertoldi's.
No. With the A. It was actually a good Italian restaurant in London. It was the only good Italian restaurant.
Do you remember the sushi place underneath 675?
Oh, Kokomi?
Well, I forget what it was called.
Yeah.
So do you know the convenience store underneath 675?
Yes.
So I used to have a promo company called Crowned Entertainment.
Okay.
And our logo it said Crowned, and it had 2 wings on the one on the end of the C, one on the end of the D, and there was a little crown over like the 3 middle letters, the WNE or whatever, the ONW, or sorry, OWN. And we put the sticker on the front door of that convenience store. It was still there 2 years ago.
Shut up.
So I'm going back next weekend. I'm going to London. I want to see if long story. I joined.
He's like, can I come?
Yeah, no, he's in training camp. He can't drink. I was there for I was in a frat. My brother was the president. Lambda Chi Alpha. No, so a bunch of my friends were in SIG. So I
had a bunch of buddies in SIG.
A good friend of mine was in.
That house was a train wreck. Holy shit!
Nightmare.
I actually bounced the one Halloween party.
Did you? Which one? What was the theme?
It was Halloween. I don't know.
So it's just like Saints or Sinners or something. Bullshit?
I don't even know what it was, but I remember just telling girls, I'd be like, okay, well, you just need to give me $10 and I'll let you, and I would just be pocketing all the money. It was
my brother was like a big frat guy. Like
was he?
Like diehard frat guy. Loved it. So he was the president in my 4th year. So I was like, fuck, like it's my brother. I should support him. I should join his stupid little thing. So I joined it, and I had some friends in it. So I joined it. I'm not a frat guy per se, but I became friends with a lot of the guys. So
yeah, same.
We have some reunion next weekend. So I'm going for this reunion. Yeah.
That's fun.
The problem is, I want to go out. I'm single. I'm going to go out. I'm going to get drunk.
There's 18-year-olds.
That's the problem.
There's
so I'm going to go to Richmond Row. Well, because there's no 17-year-olds.
I was 17.
Not in January. There's no 17-year-olds in January. Thank God.
Okay, fine.
Mind you, an 18-year-old's just as bad. So either way, this is bad.
18-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to
trust
any girl I meet.
Go.
Yeah, Joe Cools and shit.
No, not anymore. It's apparently that's a student bar now, which I used to love.
It is a student bar now. I saw that on TikTok.
My buddy's own Lucy's, which is really good.
Lucy's?
You guys should go there. Okay. It's right beside JBR's.
Okay, so maybe that's what I'll do. Because I was thinking, like, if I go to Seeps, like, I don't even know if I can talk to people.
Go to
like,
Seeps.
I don't even know if I can talk to people
or something.
Like, where are the most expensive drinks in London? That's where I'm going to go because the students
go to Lucy's. Go to Lucy's.
Okay,
like 100%. That's where everyone our age goes. Yeah. So
because you got to be careful nowadays. Like, sometimes I go to Paris, Texas, and I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
I met this. I was at Paris, Texas, maybe like a month or two ago, and I met this girl. She looked like, who's this daughter in Sopranos? She was in Entourage as well.
Oh, I love Entourage.
Turtle dated her in Entourage.
Oh, was it that the dark?
She's from Sopranos.
I don't
know.
Like
in Entourage, so in Entourage, Turtle dates her in like the later seasons.
Yes,
and she's from Entourage. She's from Sopranos. Like they reference, oh, you're whatever Carmela Soprano's daughter.
Oh wow.
Anyway, so I met this girl, and I'm looking at her. I'm like, you look exactly like this character from this actress. She's like, I have no idea who that is. I was like, how old are you? She's like 23 or 25. I was like, if you were 25, you would know who this is. How old are you? She's like, 25. I was like, and then her friend are giggling. I'm like, are you guys even 19?
Oh my God.
I was like, I'm leaving this conversation. No. I don't even want to know. Yeah.
She
must have been. She was not good. So I ended up. She found me later on. We were chatting.
Oh my god! Yeah, she found you later on. You found her.
No, trust me. I stay away from the youngest man. That's the last thing I need to do. But I ended up getting her Instagram. She was a third.
Oh my god!
She was third year university. So she's what, 20 years old at least.
20 years old.
You're 33.
Yeah, that's bad.
Watch out.
I'm okay as long as they're like in my decade. I'm okay. So when they enter the different decade, then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't know about this.
That's a sticky situation.
Yeah, we're almost nearing the end. I had a random question I was gonna ask again. Besides, anyways, where do you normally go out in Toronto?
Marble's fun. I like to go and eat there.
Shout out to Peter. There?
Yeah,
we're friends with Peter.
Shout out to Peter. Paris, Texas, all the time. I love Escobar. Yeah,
shut up, man. You're giving me a hard time. You've done the exact same thing in Paris, Texas.
Escobar's fun. Shout out to Maddie.
Yeah.
Ruby,
we had Maddie on the pod, maybe like episode 50. So I've known Maddie for
I love Maddie
15 years now, because when I started doing promo, he opened up Mansion in London.
Yeah. Wait, he opened that?
Maddie was one of the owners of Mansion and Cobra London.
Cobra? He was?
Yeah, he was. So that's how I met Maddie.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like 18 years old and Maddie was like 25. Maddie's like Jack Tad, always with the hottest girls. I'm like, Maddie's so cool.
Yeah. I like Locals and Laissez-Faire though. Those are my Laissez-Faire would probably be my favorite. Yeah. Parlor I haven't been into in a while. I love Parlor.
But we used to love it.
I love, I don't know what happened to it.
Do you know what? It's still going again. There's Dear Lady. So whenever you have a second venue, it's just again, you're working two places. It's tough. It's a little bit tougher. But I went to Parlor for the conference finals for football.
Yeah,
it was a good vibe. Like
I love the food from Parlor. Yeah, I know
Ollie's a good guy.
A Sunday at Parlor is the best. If it's like
have you been to disco brunch before?
I'm going Sunday.
What? Damn.
I'm going.
Is it a good time?
Oh yeah, great.
Is it really?
So one of the best nights I've had in Toronto.
If you're gonna say that, since COVID.
Since COVID. Okay. So since COVID started, one of the best nights I've had in Toronto was maybe it's right before COVID. I can't remember the exact.
You're gonna say this because I know it's gonna be because we didn't know each other at this point, but it was disco brunch day and disco brunch was too busy, so everyone moved to Parlor.
Yeah.
And it was the best Sunday ever in Toronto because I even thought it was, and we weren't friends.
We weren't friends.
And I have videos, and he's in the back of my videos.
Was this during COVID?
This is right before
January 26th.
The day Kobe died. It was the day Kobe died. That was the day.
Oh, wow.
So disco brunch was happening. It was like the first disco brunch.
I literally moved to Toronto at like 2 weeks later.
Oh, so you would have just missed this mega.
It was honestly the best Sunday.
So I was with Ollie. We were pre-drinking at Parlor to go.
Was Ollie promoting at that time?
Yeah. I was
for Parlor.
Yeah. He works. No, he's part owner now.
Oh, he's part owner.
So this is like when they were just sorting it out. So I was with Ollie. We were having brunch at Parlor, drinking. There was like a table of 8 of us. We were going to disco brunch. Yeah. So we're kind of group. We're at this point. We're about 20 of us at Parlor. We're getting ready to go to disco brunch. Some people went over there early, and we're starting to get text messages. It's fucking too hot. The windows are just fucking pure fog, sweat. It's gross. So some people start messaging. I look at Ollie, and I was like, Ollie, go get a whole bunch of promo bottles. And he looks at me. He's like, we're moving this here. I was like, we're moving this here. We texted like 30 people each. I kid you not. Within the hour, you just saw groups of 10 walking in.
Wow.
And everyone's like glitter, glam from disco brunch, just rolling in 10 at a time. That was one of the best Sundays ever.
I had I was there with Maz and Jordan having brunch, and we're like, hey, let's head over to disco. Walked in, walked right out, didn't even talk to anyone.
Wow.
And went right back to Parlor. No one was there yet.
Toronto's such a fun city. There's always something going on. I love it. I love it. Some people don't like it, but I love living here.
You know what? She hates King West over here. Yeah. So she tries to avoid it, but we all try to avoid it sometimes.
I don't.
I don't.
But there's just
King West is the only thing keeping me in Toronto.
Yeah.
No, but it's just like I have great times there. I know people. I'm comfortable.
I used to be the biggest Toronto hardo you'll ever meet. Like I have a tattoo when the Raptors won.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like a
That's
diehard.
hardo.
Like I'm like just. Ever since I was a kid, I remember thinking I'm gonna live in Toronto the rest of my life. I love this city. I love everything about the city, the sports.
It's so good.
The way it looks, the water, the people. Like I genuinely believe Toronto has some of the most beautiful people in the world. I'm not just talking about women, like women, men, like beautiful people.
I agree with that.
Ever since COVID, I don't know what it is. I just find myself that I just don't align with this city as much as I used to.
Really?
I find
maybe it's because I just moved here, but
I find that the people aren't as beautiful as they used to be. I find that everybody's bitching about something at all. Like I feel like there's a strike every week about something, or someone's talking about a strike. Our politics, I don't.
I see where you're going with.
Just the traffic and the way the infrastructure of the city. Like
I heard the gardeners
is going to be another lane.
That's ridiculous.
And then there's things where like I see something like this makes complete sense. We're going to build another highway north of the city that's going to connect Newmarket all the way to Bolton. Great fucking idea. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, the tree huggers this, or these people this, or Rob Ford made a deal that made his buddies rich and now we're not going to do it. It's like, okay, well, deal with the rich people later. Doug Ford. Deal with the rich people later. Let's get this fucking highway built. We can't, like, every day I turn on the news and Six Buzz is to blame. And I'm like friends with some of the guys at Six Buzz. And I remember talking, I was just like...
Yeah, but just unfollow them if it bugs you that much.
No, because it pops up on my Explore page. I almost blocked Six Buzz at one point. Because I'm like, Six Buzz has one job. It's to get people's emotions going.
Yeah.
Whether it's positive or it's negative. But most of the time it's negative.
Isn't it a private account?
Six Buzz?
I think it's a private account.
Now.
So if you unfollow, it won't be on your feed.
But like I see these things where it's like, oh, this like tobogganing just got banned at 44 parks in Toronto. I'm like, what the fuck? We're banning tobogganing?
Yeah.
Like,
for what?
There's like... overweight influencer from Toronto says that airplanes aren't big enough for them. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What are we talking about today? Like, did I miss this on? I don't know. It's just some days I was telling her earlier, I think I'm going to take a little like Instagram break.
I've done that. I did that last year and it was incredible.
I do it part-time. So it's tough for me to take like a break, but I have no deals coming up in the next week or two. So I'm like, I'm going to take a break just to.
You post all the clips this week. I'll take all next week.
Okay. I can do the rest of the clips. I just won't do Instagram.
No.
I did a social media cleanse last year. It was for about a month. It was awesome. I loved it.
So you know my problem
I'm not
is
on it that much.
I'm on it way too much.
I DM, like I have more conversations with my friends on the DMs than I have via text.
Yeah, that's a good
So like phone calls is like urgent matters or like FaceTimes. Text messaging for me is work.
Yeah.
Like I don't open text messages because it's like an email to me. Like I do all my work via text. I don't. If there's a timestamp, it's like basically like a to-do list.
Yes.
And then my DMs is like memes, and I have conversations with them. Like look, me and you were DMing the whole time.
Yeah.
We didn't want. Not that I once say, hey, what's your number just in case. No, it's like we're just gonna DM. Trust me, I check my phone enough. Like we'll DM.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, all right, maybe I should just get my friends' numbers and I'll just get off the DMs.
Fuck that.
Fuck that. No.
Instagram is fun. It's good. I like it.
Is. Before we wrap up, what's the rest of this year look like for you?
I'm hoping to compete in the UFC this year, so that's just something that I'm going to be striving for and doing everything in my power to make it happen. So that's kind of it. So
you're manifesting that. I love
exactly.
That.
Yeah.
Like you're just dialed in. I'm the
fucking
one.
dialed in. So
your fight's gonna be the first fight that I watch.
Yeah.
That I'll actually know who's fighting, why they're fighting, and what it's about.
Sweet. That's exciting.
You just created a new fan here.
Yeah, sweet. That's what it's all about.
And hopefully we got a couple more listening. That's
what it's all about. So,
but Tommy, man, Janelle, you got anything else?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, Tommy, man, appreciate you.
We'll
definitely get you on. Once you get another fight in, or maybe in the summertime, we'll get you back on. Yeah. When you're not in
I'll be able to have some drinks.
Yeah, too. We'll have a couple drinks and then head out on King West. Little midday. Like, well, do you know what we'll do? A nice like Sunday noon episode.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll crush a workout first.
Yeah.
Go for a little. Do you run?
Of course I run. I love running.
Obviously that makes sense.
Yeah.
We'll go for a little run, a little 10K, slow pace.
That's a lot. 10K?
Oh, 8K, 5K.
Okay, whatever.
I just said 8 because I was trying to impress you. We'll do a little 8K, do a little run, shower, hit the pod for a bit, have some drinks, and then we'll head out on town.
I would say, you know what, we could just skip the run, have some drinks, and do the pod.
I can do that too. I was just trying to impress you. But Tommy, appreciate it. If people want to find out more about you, your fights, what you're doing, where can they go? How can they find you?
Just my Instagram at Tommy Theo. So that's basically about it. I have Twitter, but yeah.
Insta.
Is that your fighting name?
What?
Like Tommy Theo?
No, my
or do you use your full name?
My fighting nickname is the Greek Warrior. So it's Tom the Greek Warrior Theo Karras is what I'm called, I guess. So
were you obviously he's no longer with us. Were you friends with Ilias when he was
I was like very tight with him. Like I spent his last training camp with him in Vegas. Super tight with him. Like
solid dude.
Very good. He was one of my tight buddies.
We had him on the pod again.
No way, this
is like fucking 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago.
Wow.
Now. He was like still double-digit numbers for us, maybe.
Wow.
Like he was within the first 100, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. And then like obviously that. And I remember I saw him at a party maybe 2 months before it happened. Yeah. And you're just like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
Nobody had any idea, right? Like he kept that hidden. So And you know, on a little bit of a sad note there, but no, Tommy, appreciate you coming in. You're a beauty, man. Like, I wishing you all the best in the future. So and guys, if you made it to the end, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Give Tommy a follow. Give Danielle a follow. Give myself a follow.
Keep calling me Danielle, which is weird because you usually say Danny.
A follow. And we will see you guys next week.
Thank
you.
Cheers, guys.
You like to drink and to smoke to take away the pain, and I don't remember all of my mistakes and every high.